everybody, why don't you ask for a job? Because guess what? 100 people have asked them for a job, and they don't have time to meet with every person that asked them for a job. But if you flatter them and say, share your mission, what you're working on, what's important to you, and that you'd like their advice, or you'd like to know more about what they're doing, you want to learn more about that, you give them, you're showing them that you are interested in them. Most people, when you ask for their advice, it's kind of hard for them to say, I'm not going to give you advice. If people ask you for advice, would you turn them down? If they asked you for a job, what would you do? You'd laugh, right? Kind of the same thing. But advice, I mean, I could never say no to somebody that's asking me for advice that I care about, that came to me because I knew them from the past, or I knew them because I'm friends with their mother or their sister or their former employer. They came to me through somebody. So of course I'm going to give them time. And by going in there, you get to have this one-to-one. You get to have the opportunity to start to build a relationship with that person. We're going to talk more about that. The other thing I want to share about connecting with your community, the other way you do it is by making yourself more visible. By volunteering. Is there an association, an organization that you believe in? Maybe it's a not-for-profit. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a business association. You're in advertising, the ad club. You know, you're an art director, the art directors. Whatever it is, there is a professional association for you, no matter what. There's probably 5. One of the things is get out there, go to that association. And I know you don't want to network, right? You already told me that. That's why you're not going to the networking event right now. You're joining a committee. Because when you join the committee, you get to know people in the committee. They get to know you. Those people could be part of your entourage. They see you in action. They see how great you are, how dedicated you are. They want to help you. People want to help you when they see you in action. So that's another way to connect with your community. Okay, our relationships. All right. We've got the community, right? We have our list. Understand that an entourage is built on relationships. That's why I said to you that networking is not the best way to build an entourage. Because when you picture most networking, it's going into a room, right, with a room full of strangers, and you're handing out cards. That's not building a relationship. Now, that's not to say that while you're networking, you might strike up a really great conversation with somebody, and you decide, you say, let's have coffee. And you begin to build a relationship with that person. That's what makes networking worthwhile, if you do that. But if you just go in there and exchange cards, generally speaking, a whole lot doesn't usually come out. But yes, going there to meet, instead of going in there to get 20 cards, going in there to meet 2 good people is worth it. It is definitely worth it. And that's why I definitely say networking should be part of this, but it's not the same thing. Does everybody get that? Okay. Part of relationships is the act of listening. What we talked about before with communication skills. You build a relationship because you are listening to the other person. You're not just talking to them. You're not talking to them and never giving them a chance to speak. You're mostly listening to them. And then you know what to say to them. With the relationships, as I've already talked about, because you build relationships, the people in this entourage become a source of introductions and referrals. Because met you, they like what you shared about your vision, they know people that could help you. I know at least one person, not necessarily for the job, because it might be the person that you talk to knows somebody else you should talk to for information. It's a process. It can't, the job will be there, but it might not come right away. It's building this network of people, this entourage. Because think about it. It's not only who this person is that you're sitting down with and what they can do for you, but it's who they know. A few years ago, I joined a group. It was a networking group, but it really wasn't a networking group. It was a group of 20 women from a women's business association. And each woman had a different kind of business, so they were non-competitive. I first went into that group and I said, I had a marketing firm, and I had high-profile clients. So my first reaction was, I don't know, this is a waste of my time. I looked at everybody, I heard what their businesses were. I said, oh, they're tiny businesses. That doesn't fit the profile of the kind of clients I have. But I said, I'll give it a chance. I'm going to stay in here, give it a few meetings, see what happens. That's when I learned that it wasn't who those people, what kind of businesses they had, but it's the people that they knew that they could introduce me to. So one woman who had no employees, once she learned more about me and what my firm's capabilities were, she introduced me to the head of marketing of C.R.E.A.T.E.S. They just happened to be looking for an agency to stage events all around the country for them, to launch a new car. I got the opportunity to pitch. I never would have gotten that opportunity. I could have never gotten into C.R.E.A.T.E.S. Not in a million years. But the person in my group was friends with the director of marketing. So it wasn't necessarily the person. The people that you know don't judge all so quickly. It's who they know. And by the way, I did get the account. Thank you. And it was great fun. But, see, I'm sharing my experience with you because I didn't know either at the beginning. I learned this. And when I learned that, I realized, hey, this is what a concept. It's about sharing who I am with people. And then they may know somebody to help. It works, I'm telling you. Where are we here? Okay. Long-standing connection. See, that's why it's also, I ended up being in that group for 3 years. What started off as I could have been out of there in one day, right? But I got about 3 or 4 other clients over the course of the 3-year period, good clients. And guess what? I helped those other people too. I introduced them. And there's one woman in that group, and this is quite a few years ago, that became my mentor. And to this day, and it's about 12 years later, she is the first person I call when I have a problem in my business. And she's there to help me. And that is from way back. She is one of the key people in my entourage. So these relationships, if you nurture them, can last a lifetime. Last on relationships, pay it forward. It's always about other people help you, you help other people. You help them directly or indirectly. Maybe it's somebody that isn't part of your entourage that you help. But one of the things I learned is the more I help other people, the more it comes back to me. It's the way the universe works. I'm telling you.